There are two parts to this video. The first part is about checking if you're in a fat loss plateau, not just a weight loss plateau. They are two different things, and if you change things prematurely, you'll mess up how you're able to stick to your weight loss and possibly also mess up your metabolism. Second, if your fat loss has indeed plateaued, there are 5 variables you can tweak. I'll go over each and then rank which one you want to use depending on your dieting age. Hi, Rich and Lucy here, nutritionists at CoachViva.com, the place for analytical thinkers to cut through the noise on where to start and when to level up, so that they can transform their bodies and live healthily by default. If you too refuse to settle, hide from the facts, or cave to excuses, then subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to be notified every week of new science-backed and practical videos to help you lose fat and gain muscle on your terms. And before we begin, I want to quickly announce that a few spots have opened up for the free one-on-one consult for our Badass Body Boss program. So make sure you stick around until the end of the video for the announcement on that. Now let's get started.
It is critical that you know if you're in a fat loss plateau, not just a weight loss plateau. Why? One case could be if you gained more muscle than lost fat, your weight will go up, but that's a good thing because you're gaining muscle. It would be foolish to change what you're doing and sabotage yourself. Another case could be that you ate out the day before your check-in, in which case you'll retain more glycogen and water weight, which causes your total weight to go up. But if your inches stayed the same, you haven't actually gained any fat. Changing what you're doing is only going to make life harder for you unnecessarily and lead to sabotage down the road if you keep reacting prematurely like this. So how do you figure out if you're in a fat loss plateau? Step 1. In the morning before you eat or drink anything, use the body fat calculator linked in the description below to get your body fat percentage. Step 2. Then track somewhere your weight, body fat percentage, fat mass, which is weight multiplied by body fat percentage, and your lean mass, which is weight minus your fat mass. Step 3. Verify that you have not lost fat mass in 3 weeks. Why 3 weeks? Because any week can be a one-off outlier week because of hormones, stress, and other reasons. So to allow for a week being a one-off week, you need 3 weeks worth of data to know for sure what you're seeing is real.
Now, if you're really in a fat loss plateau for 3 weeks, there are 5 main variables you can tweak to break yourself out of it. The first is nutritional compliance. The majority of the time when plateaued clients come to me, it turns out that they thought they were in a calorie deficit but weren't. Here are the factors that most often cause underestimation of their calories. Eating back exercise calories. Don't do this. Exercise calories burnt is vastly overestimated by most apps. It also leads to a mindset of using food as a reward for eating well and exercise as punishment for not eating well. And this is a mindset that'll harm you in the long term. 2, accounting for hidden calories, such as in 0-calorie foods. There was a client who was eating in a deficit and not losing weight, or so she thought, until it was found out that she was spraying 0-calorie olive oil spray for about 5 seconds. The olive oil spray is 0 calories, only a spray for 1/4 of a second. This is adding up to 300-ish calories on top of what she logged. So pay attention to what 0-calorie foods you are having and Google what their calories beyond the amount prescribed on the nutrition label is. Not logging vegetables. This is the most common amongst clients who come from Weight Watchers. Vegetables still have calories, so it's important that you account for them. Underestimating portions by a little each time. Studies have found that even dietitians underestimate by 16%. The slight shave-offs of calories per food entry add up. One thing you could do is conservatively estimate portions to be slightly bigger. For example, if you think that something is 1/2 cup, log 3/4. Something is 3 ounce, log 4 ounce, and so on. If you are up for it, just for 1 week, measure and weigh your food to be super accurate. Choosing entries with slightly lower calories. Most calorie counting apps show a variety of options for every food you enter. There may be a tendency to choose the entry that's a little lower than average because you want to make sure that you have enough room to eat later. While I understand this worry, it may be causing the small shave-offs of calories per food to add up. For this next week, choose calorie options that if you didn't have to worry, you would have chosen.
If you really are in nutritional compliance, you want to check your macro ratios, the second variable. Make the following changes. Decrease your carbs in grams by 25 grams per day. Increase your protein in grams by 25 grams per day. The lowered carbs will affect your hormones such that it will decrease the likelihood of storing fat, and the protein will increase your metabolism. This method is especially useful for people who are already quite lean and looking to lose more fat.
The third variable you need to improve is your food quality. quality. This means eating fewer processed foods. For the next week, aim for the following for every meal: 1 to 2 fist-sized portions of vegetables, 1 to 2 cupped handfuls of grains, 1 deck of car-sized lean protein, and of course, none of this should be fried, dripping in sauce, and all such cooking methods that strip the nutritional values of foods. For the next week only, minimize your alcoholic drinks, caloric drinks, junk foods, and sweets to 0. This is only for the next week to test if this causes you to break your plateau. If it does, then it's your food quality that has been delaying your weight loss. In which case, the week after, you need to create a plan for what one thing you'd change to get you closer to the high food quality week habits, and work week over week to get closer to the ideal of at least 3 fist-sized portions of vegetables daily, max 3 to 6 cupped handfuls of grains daily, and at least 3 deck of card-sized lean protein daily. Maximum 1 junk food or sweets caloric drink daily.
The fourth variable is to use cardio to deepen your calorie deficit, which I totally forgot to record originally. So the first thing to try is to increase the duration of your cardio sessions. So if you're doing 10 minutes cardio, for example, make it 20 minutes or 15 minutes of cardio and do it for a whole week, and then see if that breaks your plateau at the end of the week. Now, if duration does not break your plateau, try to up the frequency of it. So if you're doing it 0 times, make it 1 time. If you're doing it once a week, make it twice a week, and then see at the end of the week if that breaks your plateau. If that still did not break your plateau, then up the intensity of your exercise. So this could mean, for example, if you're doing HIIT or Tabata, taking shorter breaks, or if you're not doing HIIT or Tabata, try HIIT or Tabata. Now, if that does not break your plateau either, then you may want to change the type of cardio that you're doing, because when we start doing a particular exercise, we get very efficient with how we expend energy to do those movements over time. So you're actually getting more efficient, and therefore your calorie burn is decreasing as you do more and more of the same type of cardio. So one way to break your plateau is to actually just change the type of cardio to a new one, which you have not done before. So you're inefficient at doing those movements, and then seeing if that increases your calorie burn and therefore increases your chances of breaking a plateau. And the last variable is to do a refeed week. When you have been in a calorie deficit for a while, your body adapts, meaning it becomes more efficient and burns fewer calories while simultaneously tricking you into eating more. The way to reboot your system is to take a refeed week to start. This means raising your calories to maintenance for a whole week. Even if you gain weight, it'll mostly be water and glycogen. You're not going to gain fat as long as you eat within your maintenance calories. If you had been exercising really hard, dial it back to a minimalist routine for a week. This means 1 to 2 strength sessions a week of less than 1 hour and 1 to 2 intense cardio sessions of less than 30 minutes a week. After the refeed week, go back into a deficit and see if the subsequent week your weight and or body measurements start dropping again.
Now, which variables to tweak when depends on your dieting age, as in how long have you been in a calorie deficit. For 1 to 2 months, your checklist is as follows. Only proceed down the list if the prior point didn't work out at the end of the week. Nutritional compliance check. Change your macro ratios. Improve food quality. Deepen the deficit using exercise. In 2 to 3 months, here's your checklist. Nutritional compliance check. Change your macro ratios. Improve food quality, reboot your metabolism. In more than 3 to 4 months, here's your checklist. Nutritional compliance check, reboot your metabolism. Remember that after your rebooted metabolism, aka that refeed week, your dieting age reverts back to 0. So the next time you hit a plateau, choose the right dieting ages checklist accordingly.
2 final notes. 1, if you are in a severe calorie deficit, like eating in over a 30% deficit, you will more frequently hit fat loss plateaus. It's best to avoid severe calorie restrictions like that because you're wrecking your metabolism and also making lifelong weight loss a slim possibility. What you want to aim for is steady progress. Second thing, besides a full-on plateau, you also want to check your lean mass trend. For example, even if you lost fat, you may have also lost lean mass. And if you lost more lean mass than fat, you may be losing muscle, which means you'll end up looking like the version of the woman on the left at your goal weight.
In fact, there are 8 different cases you could fall into depending on which direction your fat mass and lean mass is trending. And each case has its own flow chart of what to do depending on what you've tried so far. We cover all of this in detail, plus coach you for lifelong weight loss in our Badass Body Boss program. This program is built for you if you, 1, value learning in depth the science and psychology behind the entire process, 2, believe that weight loss need not be so complicated and that each method out there works for someone at some stage, and that you just need a clear path for finding your methods for your stage, and 3, are excited by the idea of working in a collaborative fashion with us to build your customized, sustainable roadmap to lifelong success. If that's you, good news. A few spots have opened up for a free one-on-one consultation call with us. Note that this is not a coaching call, and that booking a call does not guarantee that you'll be admitted into our program. So if you're serious, click on the link in the description below to book a one-on-one consult for our Badass Body Boss program.
And if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, be sure to subscribe or follow us on Instagram, and share this video with whoever else you feel could use this information. And be sure to check out these 2 videos to lose fat and gain muscle like a body boss. You can do it.